You know by now that's the sound that ushers us into Office Journal every Tuesday from 11 till 11:50. We are Smooth 98.1. We don't just love music, we love life as well. And we love it when you are in tip-top shape physically, emotionally, mentally, in terms of your money and your pocket, so you can say financially, and also every alley that you can think about. And that's why we have these sessions every Tuesday from 11 till 11:50, discussing career, discussing personal development, and also etiquette, habit, how you can communicate, and how to watch your pockets. And also sometimes we talk about retirement, like I often tell you. And today we are talking about something that is very important because globally, millions of dollars, actually make that trillions, is lost every year. And the last report that we had from the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission's head, he said that about $500 million is lost to that in Nigeria. And it's big. If you look at the number in terms of the latest report that was released by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, that's FBI in the United States, you said that this year, about, I know, 2023, about $12.5 billion was lost to cyber crime. And then in some other places like United Arab Emirates and the Middle East, you have just one incident costing up to $8 million. So it's huge, it's big. And now you're wondering, what is my business with cybersecurity? I would have you know that your email, as long as you have an email, I guess it can be a potential, should I say, inwards lane to you. So this is part of the reasons why you should stay tuned for today's conversation. And we have rightly titled it Cybersecurity, Why You Should Be More Interested. So that's why we need you to make sure you sit at the edge of your seat this morning, and whatever it is that you're doing at work, if you're driving, make sure that you turn up the volume of your radio set so that you do not miss out on the information we have to share with you this morning. My name is Oluwaseun, and to discuss the issue of cybersecurity this morning and why you should be interested, and also how to protect yourself, is a risk and cybersecurity professional with well over a decade of experience in managing various information security domains such as governance, security operations center, application security, risk management, and just to mention but a few. And he is currently the Chief Information Security or Assistant Chief Information Security Officer, Central Securities Clearing Systems, and that is CSCS Plc. So please welcome with me, Olayemi Agbeleye. Good morning.
Good morning, Seun. Thank you for the invitation.
And thank you for joining me. So we can as well just dive right into what cybersecurity is, because there's a possibility that once a person hears cybersecurity, they think about fraud, they think about Yahoo, they think about money disappearing instantly from your accounts. So let's get to the basics. What exactly is cybersecurity?
Okay, so cybersecurity in simple term is just the practice of protecting your systems, your network, and your data from digital attack. So basically, that is what cybersecurity is. The concept of cybersecurity, when you look at it, there are three things that we are trying to protect. We call it the CIA of digital assets. They are the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your digital assets. So when I say confidentiality, we're talking about putting controls in place to make sure that your digital assets does not get unauthorized disclosure. When you talk about integrity, we're talking about unauthorized alteration to your digital assets. And when we talk about availability, we're just talking about your digital assets being available for your customers, for your users, when there is need for those assets to be accessed. So Forget about all the big jargons when it comes to cybersecurity. Those are the three concepts that we're trying to protect. So when you look at every other concept that we talk about, the technical controls, the non-technical controls, we're just trying to protect these three concepts: confidentiality, integrity, and availability of your digital assets. So things like protecting your data, which is ensuring that your sensitive information are kept secured from unauthorized access. That speaks to your CIA. When you talk about preventing attacks, meaning you're putting controls in place, you're putting measures in place just to make sure that an authorized person cannot break into your system and steal from you. That is the concept of achieving protection of your CIA. Also, your detective threats capability. That means you're able to detect when somebody is trying to gain unauthorized access into your system. And again, one of the other things that you also need to put in place is your ability to respond to incidents. So even if somebody has gained unauthorized access to your system, how do you respond to it? So those type of things are things that you need to have in place. And also, and lastly, your ability to be able to recover when something happened in your environment, so that you can get back to your normal business operation. Those concepts, everything that we've talked about, and all the big English when it comes to cybersecurity, there are three things, three concepts you're trying to achieve: your confidentiality, your integrity, and the availability of your digital assets. Thank you.
Thank you for all the big English. We are going to attempt to break it down, starting with what digital asset involves, because I don't want to have any confusion. So somebody hears it. What constitutes digital assets?
Okay, so what constitutes a digital assets for my organization maybe different from what constitutes digital assets for your organization, but I'll take a general one that everybody we're conversant with. Take, for example, in a banking environment, the internet banking of a bank, internet banking platform, the mobile app, the USSD, those are digital assets for the organization. Those are platforms where they make money from. So everything the organizations will be doing to make sure those assets are available, the integrity is in check, the confidentiality of those assets are top notch. That is, in that way, those type of assets becomes digital assets for those organizations. And for some companies, it's just information. It's just documents, is their business processes. That is, again, that becomes their digital asset. So anything that is of value to an organization, that is an asset to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, if you're joining us for the first time, don't worry, you're just in time for the conversation on cybersecurity and why you should be more interested in this conversation, especially as the whole month is dedicated to the awareness of this. And that's to tell you that there is something there. And I told you about the many amount of money lost globally, also here in Nigeria. So how do you protect yourself? What are the types of data breaches? How do you protect yourself against these? These and many more we'll be discussing in the next 40 minutes, and you can share your thoughts as well as ask your questions. But I will tell you the avenues to be a part of the show right after this.
This is Michelle Dede. Keep listening to Smooth 98.1. This is how
Okay, so now that we've started with the definition, we are going to launch into, is there such a thing as cybersecurity types? I mean,
okay, so I was going to ask I was going to say maybe the question, in fact, what I've done is, I guess you're talking about cyber attack type. So I was thinking you're talking about cyber attack type that affects individuals and organizations. So I can speak on. So I just treated it as the first question we'll be talking about the ones that affect individuals. And then at some point, I think you mentioned the same question again. I think that is the third one or the fourth one. You mentioned individual and organization. So I just wanted to treat this one as the one that affects individual, and then the next one as the one that affects organization.
So we're going to build it up gradually, and we are just going to have a relaxed conversation about it so that somebody has crystal clarity, even if they are not in the tech world or in the IT world. they have an idea of it. So maybe when I come back, we're going to start with someone who's not an IT professional. What's their business with cybersecurity? And then we're going from there.
Okay, that's fine.
You're welcome. You're listening to Office Journal right here on Smooth 98.1. We don't just love music, we love life as well, and we love it when you're well developed and protected. That's why we're discussing cybersecurity this morning. So if you'd like to be a part of the conversation, there are different ways. Number one, we are currently streaming live on YouTube, and that is at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. That's the handle on YouTube, at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Now, if you have any questions or any contribution, WhatsApp line is open, and that is 0809 444 0981. Again, 0809 444 0981. The call line is 0201 448 9981. Again, 0201 448 9981. Okay, so I guess this is the turf of Chief Cisco Delgado, because on WhatsApp he says, "Good morning, Big Sister Oluwaseun. Digital asset means anything that is stored digitally and is uniquely identifiable that organizations can use to realize value. Examples of digital assets include documents, audio, videos, logos, slide presentations, spreadsheets, and websites." Tell me you're a techie without telling me you're a techie. I see you, Cisco Delgado. Now, that said, I do have as my guest this morning a risk and cybersecurity professional, and that is Olayemi Agbeleye. So someone hears cybersecurity and all they think about is for the people that carry laptop, it's for the techies, it's for the people that code. What is the business of a non-IT professional with cybersecurity?
Okay, so if you look at it historically, and if you look at the incident that you mentioned, with the figures coming from the EFCC, if you look at the people that are being defrauded, I'm sure a huge percentage of that figure will not be users who are, or individuals who are in tech, because the cyber attackers don't just attack IT systems alone. They prey on human behavior, sort of. They encourage you to click on things like links, suspicious link, divulge personal information. From that figure that you gave, I'm sure a lot of it will come from people who have been defrauded doing through things like phishing. You know, I'm sure you would have gotten something like that where you get a mail that is appearing like it's coming from your bank asking you to put in your password, your user ID, or even a call. So again, this is not for IT professionals alone. There are serious implications to everybody, whether you're an IT professional or not. Again, in the digital world that we have today, we have a lot of our personal information that we save online. So understanding the concept of cybersecurity actually helps you to protect the things that are personal to you. Another reason why non-technical people, non-IT people should also be interested when it comes to cybersecurity is financial loss. Just like you mentioned in your figure, the figures are scary. If you look globally, the rate at which people are getting defrauded, and these are things that they leverage on because people don't understand what to look out for in emails, when they call them on the phone, the type of information that your bank can ask you for. I don't see a reason why my bank will ask me for my password. That's not possible. The MD of your company cannot ask you for your password, even though he's the MD of your company. But these things are things that non-IT people most times don't understand. And this is what they get to learn if they are open to the going through the process of understanding what cybersecurity is all about. Just the basic security practice, knowing what to click on, using strong password, using 2FA, those simple basic cybersecurity concepts are things that can help them to mitigate against financial loss, privacy, and even to also help the organization that they work in.
Thank you. Now, assumption has cost me a lot, so I'm not going to try to assume someone who's listening understands. So I'm going to take it one step at the other. For instance, you mentioned how You ought to know the things not to click on. There are times that there are some things that look harmless, some links or some emails that look genuine. So give us an idea of in what form those cyber attacks can come and how we can protect ourselves. So one, let's start with the emails and suspicious links, because I know on one occasion I've seen a link, in fact, a website that looks like the website of my bank, but it was not. It took double checking. So for someone who has no idea of that, what are some of those little things, details we should pay attention to?
Thank you, Sean, and that's a good question. Just like you just said, you said it took you trying to double check it before you discover that it's not from your bank. That is one of the things that we users need to understand. For example, why would my bank ask me to click on a link to submit anything at all? So knowing those things, that your bank will not ask you for this confidential information. So when somebody sends you that type of email, you should ask yourself, why? Why would the bank be asking me for this type of thing? Another thing is attachments. It's not a link. Sometimes you get emails that has attachments, and you ask yourself twice before you open those attachments, because that attachments can come in with a lot of things. They can come with malware that is able to even steal the credential that you have saved on your system. So things like clicking, checking, taking precautions when you want to click on a link, asking yourself, and double checking with your bank. Just pick your phone, just call your bank. Yeah, I got this email. Is it from you? Just trying to check, double check. If it's an organization environment like your office, you have your IT security people, you have your IT department, your help desk. Just check with them. If you see something suspicious, just double check with them. And that is why going through the process of your reading your policies, going through your organization's procedure, so that you will know how to address such situation, who to report to. Those are key factors that as individual we need to just stay back and then look at, just think about it twice, and then you can make call or double check or check with your IT security staff. If you don't have the knowledge and the technical skill to determine that, because as professionals, there are things that we check out for that as ordinary users, you may not be able to check. So just double check with your security desk.
Thank you. Let's move over to the next one, 2FA, which is known as two-factor authentication. What is that and why do I need it?
Okay, so you do when you want to authenticate to your system, normally you use your username and your password. But again, is that enough? There is an attack called password attack, where the attackers try to maybe guess your password or try to crack your password with now, one of the things that is very, very difficult to compromise is your second factor authentication. Now, your password, maybe your friend or your friend or a colleague by chance gets to know your password. But if you rely on two-factor, you have two-factor enabled, they will still need the code from the second factor authentication that you have before they can gain access. So even though your username and password is compromised, you've compromised your password, that serves as an additional layer of security. And that is what we call building security in layers within an organization. So even though your password has been compromised, you still have another layer to protect you and also protect the information that are critical to you.
Okay, then going on, password. What does a strong password look like? Or if I'm trying to create a strong password, what are some of the things I should put into consideration?
Okay, so there are simple password that's we call dictionary password, or a password that are known today. Things like password 1-2. Those are common passwords that are readily available on the internet. So if you check dictionary password dictionary on the internet, you will see billions of passwords that already exist, that people already know. Now, when you're creating your password, there is that urge to make it simple for you so that you can remember it. But again, that is where the human behavior comes in. We don't want to make it difficult so that it's not difficult for us to use. So in achieving your complex password, you must do, so one of the things that we also consider before is the length of the password. So you consider the length of the password, how lengthy is it? You look at, you include special characters, include numbers, symbols, and all that. You use that to create a password that is considered strong. The challenge with using a simple password is this. So if you use a simple password today, there are tools that if I run your password against, they already have those passwords. So if I run your username against the list of passwords that already exist on the internet, if your password is simple, I'll likely see, it will likely match, one of those passwords on the internet will likely match what you're using. So I'll be able to gain access to, yes, to your profile. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that is why we encourage people to use complex password. Another concept when it comes to that is the use of passphrase. So even if you think password is complex, we can use what we call passphrase, which can be longer. So I can say my name. I can write something like my name is Jamie, the company that I work for, and I just change some components of all that long like statement like. That is what we call passphrase. You can create something that is unique to you, that is unique to your environment or unique to your situation, and just make it longer, and then you change certain characters in within those statements. That's what we call passphrase.
That is a lot. Now, there is something that sometimes bothers me when I'm signing into a new website or I'm just creating an account and the password manager comes up and says, would I like to save the new details onto a password manager? But before I even come to the password manager, is it advisable to save login details to a site? Is it something that is setting me up for cyber attack or crime? Or once it's better for me to just keep myself logged in? And the other part is a password manager safe? What if someone decides to go for my entire password manager and all the details, everything is there?
Okay, so you've answered the question yourself. I'll just start from the second one. So password manager. Password manager is good, and it also has its own side effect, just like you said. If you use a password manager, if the password manager gets compromised, it means they have access to your password, which is why at an enterprise level, we always advise, because again, as individual, maybe you're not buying, maybe you're just using a free password manager. But as an enterprise level, we encourage organizations to have what we call an enterprise password manager. So in that case, it's more secured. You have some level of controls and it's a bit more secured. To your second question about saving your password on third-party websites, again, that is dangerous. What happens with that is if the site gets compromised, they have access to your password, and whatever it is that you have under the account gets compromised. So what you're doing in that case is you're outsourcing your security to a third party, which then leaves it out of your control. So for me, I would rather keep my security within my space and within my control.
So I imagine someone is somewhere listening and saying, this stress is too much. Why do I have to walk on eggshells or maybe just constantly look over my back? I don't have that much money in this account, or I don't have money. There is nothing I stand to lose. What would you say to such a person? Because now this is where this question is coming from. I was looking at the data and I realized that the education sector is the third, at least so far based on the data available to me, the education sector is the third most targeted. And I'm wondering why are they targeting the education sector? You just have a bunch of lecturers, students, and whatnot. So how how valuable should my information be, should be to me other than just my money and whatever is in my bank account?
Okay, so The value that you place on that information determines how you see them, how you see it. Maybe it's just information, or maybe it's something that is an intellectual property. So when you say hackers are targeting schools, one of the things that will come to mind is intellectual properties, research developments, and all that are being done from the school. Those can result in financial gain for somebody who lays hand on those intellectual properties. Because again, why are you making those research? You're making those research because you want to develop something or you improve on something that is already in existence, or you want to develop something that is not in existence. So the value that you place on that information is actually what matters. But again, on a personal level, as I said before, most of the things that we do today, they are online. So if it's important for you to keep those things private to you, so you're talking about privacy, it's not just financial. Privacy is something that is also key in today's world. The financial loss, you might think is not much. You don't have much, but just consider somebody taking that little that you think that you have. It's not something that you want to happen to you. And these things are not things that are very difficult. They are just basic. Nobody's asking anyone to go into all the technical things that we do. They just practice the basic hygiene that keeps you safe when you're online.
Thank you. On WhatsApp, Chief Cisco Delgado says, Olayemi is absolutely correct because I'm always dynamic in the use of my ATM card. For example, after each withdrawal, I always change my security PIN. Why? Is that not too much stress? Sister Oluwaseun, my password is very difficult to crack. It contains a lot and very long that before an attacker can intrude, he or she will be locked out. Oh my.
Exactly.
I don't use anything password manager. It's very dangerous, like Olayemi said. I prefer to manage my security details myself. Oh, wow. You are very security conscious. And Oluwaseun on WhatsApp says, back to password manager issue. How can one cram more than 50 passwords in one head? Else you maintain a uniform password all through, which is impossible. Okwe Google Password Manager. And that reminds me, I think you've said it again, but please go over it. Is it safe or advisable to use one password for a number of accounts?
Again, that is also dangerous. The dangerous part of that is an attacker only needs to crack one of your password, just one password, and then everything. He will have access to everything that you have access to. So at an individual level, we encourage people to have different passwords for different platforms. But at organization level, what we try to do at organization level is to have what we call single sign-on. So in that case, you're authenticating once to your system, your environment. So once you authenticate once, you do your strong password, you do your 2FA, you do everything. You only log in once, then you have access to all the different platforms that your organization provides for you. So in that case, you don't have any reason to cram 10, 15, 20 passwords. Right.
Thank you. AI, artificial intelligence, something that is dreaded by a lot of people, and many people are of the opinion that it's going to make us even more porous. So what's your take on the role AI is playing on cybersecurity?
Thank you, Sean. AI has been a profound, it has had a profound impact on cybersecurity. It's offered us significant benefits and also new challenges, if I may say. So the thing is, we've been able to do a lot when it comes to cybersecurity with the help of AI. We have things that we've been able to automate, improve on. But again, don't forget, the same AI platforms, these hackers also leverage these AI platforms to also cause havoc. The same way we have access to it to improve our processes, to improve our operations, is the same way these attackers also leverage on it to improve what they're doing. So in terms of the benefit to us, there are certain things that they've been able to help us. One of it is in the area of detection. So before now, as an analyst, you go through thousands of logs, millions of logs for you to look out for you to fetch out malicious activities. But now with AI, you easily get the threat detection. You have that threat detection capability with ease. Also, automated response is another thing that we need to. Yeah, security tools today that I don't have to say, for example, something is happening in my Meduguri branch. I can easily sit in my Lagos office and click on a button from my security dashboard, and it will take action for an employee that is in Meduguri. So we've been able to achieve some of those things. Another thing that AI has also been able to help us with is improve accuracy. So before now, you used to have a lot of false positives. So you check this one, it is not it. You check this one, it is not it. But today, you have less things to check because the AI-enabled system have been able to filter out those false positives. So you are able to concentrate your energy on things that you know are almost true. So all you just need to do is just go into deeper analysis, and you're able to come to a conclusion. Another thing that is able to also help us to do is predictive capabilities. So today we have systems that that can predict your activity. Say, for example, Sheon comes to the office 8 o'clock. Our system gets powered on 8 o'clock. She closes 5 o'clock. Our system gets, and these are the applications that she uses. If you suddenly, I see your activities at 3 a.m., at 2 a.m., logging into systems that you don't necessarily log into. We have systems in place today that can simply alert us to say, oh, this is not Sheon's usual behavior. This is not how Sheon behaves. I expect Sheon to log in by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So you can then start asking questions and start. In terms of predictive capabilities, we've been able to move forward when it comes to AI's impact on security. Another thing is scalability, which is the rate at which the threat landscape is changing. It's very, very difficult for you as a human being to keep up with the way it's changing every day. See some sort of phishing tactics today. Before you know it, they've modified it, they've improved upon it. But with AI, we're able to also scale at the rates that the threat landscape is changing.
Thank you for those beautiful things about AI and how it's helping us. But now, it's a double-edged sword. So, in using it to achieve all those wonderful things, what are some of the caution that you would give as we're using it? I mean, yes, it's able, for instance, when you mentioned how, yes, this is not the usual behavior of Oluwaseun, so this can alert you. That's just apropos. So what are some of the things that, on the flip side, even as much as it's helping you, you need to be maybe mindful of it, since one of the greatest fears of AI that I have is collection and harvesting of data. Because as I'm using it, it's harvesting my data, it's retaining it. So what are some of those things that you just need to be mindful of in your use of AI to do whatever noble purposes that you're trying to achieve with it?
Thank you. And that's your answer is, that's your last comment is spot on. One of the things that you get with AI is sometimes they won't tell you that they don't keep your record, they don't keep your information, but they use it to learn. So how do you use it to learn without keeping it? How do you use it to learn without keeping it? Yes. So again, you'll have to be careful with what you impute into this AI, how you use this AI, because again, privacy law not just in Nigeria, privacy law around the globe is a key thing. You see organizations getting fined heavily because certain customers' data gets leaked. So imagine an employee of an organization copying customers' information and maybe putting it in AI to generate some form of analysis. and that gets compromised, that can result in heavy fine on the part of the organization. So privacy is one thing that should worry everybody when it comes to AI. Another aspect that I also consider as something of worry is intellectual property. So if you work for an organization, what are those things that are sensitive to the organization that you're not expected to share? Which is why if I talked about going through your policies, going through your procedures, because those are the places or the documents where you have data that are sensitive to the organization that you're not expected to share. Now, imagine copying organizations that are sensitive and putting them in AI. You can actually cause the organization to lose money and intellectual properties. Again, those are two of numerous side effects to AIs that we should be worried. All should be worried about.
See, this thing you just mentioned, it's worrisome. Worrisome not because of the potential danger, but because of the impact, the negative impact of ignorance. For instance, everybody's been encouraged to use AI and it can help you to triple your productivity. And I imagine a worker trying to get work done and the person feels, okay, I have a timeline, a deadline, and I need to quickly get this thing done. So because of that, I need AI to help me. And then you just expose your company unintentionally. Now, what should be the role of the organization in maybe for them to constantly sensitize or maybe constantly train? Because I don't know if I hear it often that companies, organizations are training their staff on cybersecurity. What's your recommendation in that regard?
Okay, so again, I'll be surprised in 2024 if we see our organizations who don't do security awareness, who don't train their employees when it comes to cybersecurity. So in terms of AI and what organizations should do, one of the key components of security is the security awareness component. You can invest billions in technologies, have your policies, have everything. If your employees are not aware of what to do, what not to do, those investments are just a waste of your time. So I expect that every organization should have security awareness sessions for their employees. And when it comes to the use of AI, there are specific trainings that organizations should give to their employees on the usage of AI. And another thing that will also encourage organizations to do is, so if you have a policy that allows your employees to use AI, why not subscribe to the enterprise form? Why allow them to use the free version of AI where you don't have control, there's no agreement between you and the provider? So organizations should try to subscribe to enterprise paid license. In that case, you have some level of control, you have some level of agreement between you and the provider in terms of usage. And then even if anything goes wrong, the fact that you have those type of agreements, you can seek redress when it comes to compromise on your network, as long as you can trace it back to the usage of their platform. So free, there's nothing free. That's just the key thing.
I subscribe to that. In fact, there was one time I had to say that I personally believe that there is nothing free in life. And if something is free in the moment, there are a number of possibilities. Either somebody paid for it, and that's why it's free to you, or you are paying for it, you just don't know, or you will pay for it at one point or the other. So there is nothing free indeed. Thank you for bringing that up. Now, let's move over to some of the things that happened, especially with your organization, and you had a conference, a whole cybersecurity conference. But before I come to that, let me quickly take this WhatsApp message. And if you'd like to join the conversation, please send your messages or questions to 0809 444 0981. Again, 0809 444 0981. The call line is 0201 448 9981. Wilson says, good morning, Madam Oluwaseun. My greetings to your guests as well. I think this topic is a very sensitive and timely one, especially now that those scammers are hacking people's WhatsApp number and sending messages requesting for money. Over the last 3 to 4 weeks, it was rampant, and I've even received a message from someone I know too well, and I sense that his number has been hacked, and I didn't even respond to the message. It was later discovered that his number has been hacked. I think we should be more careful because those people are always coming up with different ways to scam people. People should be on the lookout and take caution. Anything message requesting you to send money first or suspicious in any way should be deleted immediately. Thank you and have a great day. I think WhatsApp hacking has been since time immemorial, and they just keep looking for different ways to get into you. Do you want to say something to that?
Yeah, again, it's rampant, just as the listener said. Again, that goes back to the issue that we talked about, the basic security practice using your 2FA. I think 2FA helps in a lot of these WhatsApp hacking techniques.
Thank you. Uh, Cisco Delgado says, yes, so nothing is free indeed. Please, Olayemi should share his social media platforms or contact details because I would like to work with him for my PhD enrollment in information technology and cybersecurity after getting my master's degree in information and communication technology. Wow, you have, okay. So when we're done with the conversation, it's definitely going to share that. So let's talk about the conference that you had and some of the decisions or discussions rather, and the takeaway.
Okay, so there are several takeaways from the conference, but I just go through a couple that stand out for me. So one is the strategic role that AI has played when it comes to technical security. I think we've talked about that, particularly when it's able to give us predictive analysis and also rapid threat detection. That is one thing. That is one burden that AI has been able to achieve for us. And throughout the whole different sessions, we had experts talking about that strategic group. Another thing was the focus on collaboration. We had experts stress the importance of coordinated efforts between the private sector. So we had private sector, we had public sector professionals who spoke at the event. And again, it just speaks to everybody working together to achieve this a common goal, a more secure ecosystem. Another major takeaway from me was also the continuous education when it comes to what is needed to mitigate against the risk of phishing and social engineering. And lastly, it was the advocacy for strong regulatory framework in the industry. Again, once we have every stakeholders the input and buying into having a strong security culture within the organization, we're able to have a better secured ecosystem. So again, there are a lot of takeaways, but those are just some of those ones that stood out for me.
Thank you. I have BE from Canada who says, hi there to you and your guest. I believe if we're going to take cybersecurity and use of generative AI in the government, there must be a sort of directive or guideline on the safe use of AI. Okay, so that brings me to a question, and that will be, what are we going to look forward to? I mean, from your organization, for instance, in terms of the initiative, what can the capital market look forward to in terms of what you're going to come up with and how we just are going to stay safer cyberly?
Okay.
What I just created.
Okay. So when it comes to CSCS, from us, what we've been doing for the past 5 years when it comes to this conference is to bring people together, bring experts together, public, private sectors, even international speakers. We brought them to speak to the general market about what is needed to ensure that we have an ecosystem that is secured. From where we stand as a market infrastructure, we are committed to continuous improvement and innovation of our cybersecurity. We plan to invest in more AI-driven solutions just to stay ahead of the evolving threats. Our goal is to establish CSA as thought leader when it comes to cybersecurity within that capital market. Additionally, we're building strategic alliance with other industry leaders. I'm sure the last conference we had, it was a partnership with the Office of the National Security Advisors. So we're building that alliance, and we're going to keep on communicating to stakeholders. We're going to keep on sending training materials out. We're going to be transparent in what we do when it comes to the capital market. Overall, we're going to keep doing what we've been doing, and then we're going to keep improving on our effort to make sure the ecosystem is more secure.
Back to what BE said, he's of the opinion that there must be a sort of directive or guideline on the safe use of AI, especially here from the government. So do we have anything of that sort, or is just organizations trying to safeguard their own interests?
Okay, again, so if you were at the conference, or if you see videos from the conference, you'll see that even the government agencies, the military that were there, were also speaking along this line of having a strong framework in terms of enforcement on what to do and what not to do. So I believe that conversation is already ongoing, and we're hoping that in the next couple of months or years, we should have something concrete from the government when it comes to the use of AI in our operations.
So if we don't have that in the next couple of months, who are we calling out? Which sector are we calling out? Whose names are we dropping?
I'm sure we have the regulators. You can reach out to the regulators.
Okay. All right. Because we all need to be protected. And each time I see movies or series like Black Mirror and I see things going on in the world, I mean, I see movies a lot and I just allow my imaginations run wild. I know that what is coming for us, we might not be able to stop it, but at least we can protect ourselves one way or the other. So we need that, and we need it fast. Well, thank you for a wonderful conversation this morning, Olayemi. It's been great.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Now, Cisco Delgado is on to you for your social media handles, as well as how to reach out or people to find more about you and what you do.
Okay. But you can reach me on LinkedIn. I'm available on LinkedIn. Just look for Olayemi Agbeleye.
Do you want to spell that?
Olayemi. Agbeleye is Agbeleye. Again, Olayemi. Agbeleye is Agbeleye.
And that's the show for today. Thank you for the education. And I hope that with these viewpoint of ours, someone is more interested in cybersecurity, and not just for their bank accounts, but generally, and also the organizations. I hope that you're leaving with one key takeaway that you're going to implement and protect yourself. Ignorance is costly and nothing is free. So upgrade and pay for what needs to be paid for so that you can be safe and secure. All right, I will just end with some messages on WhatsApp. No, Cisco Delgado, it's not Ogbule, it's Agbeleye. So that's Agbeley. Olayemi Agbeleye. YE, sorry.
Yes.
Then I have got, okay, hello, Oluwaseun. I'm a digital transformation and tech services, as well as AI and robotics integration specialist. I just want to support all that your guest has talked about concerning AI and its use in the business space. Just like he said, the integrity and safety of AI use must be guaranteed through strong service level agreement and regulation that will ensure that whatever AI tools that employees use for their work within the organization are safe and secure. And just like he said, cybersecurity should be of paramount importance to all enterprise organizations and corporate businesses. From Judge Sains at Smart Biz Africa. Thank you for your contribution, Judge Sain. And next week, we'll return with another conversation on Office Journal, making sure that you're more enlightened and importantly, you go into action with the information that you have gotten with these viewpoints of ours. Thank you. And yeah, look forward to another conversation with you. Meanwhile, you can find this recording, this stream on YouTube, and that is at Smooth 91 FM Lagos. So I would encourage you to listen and also share with your colleagues, your superiors, your subordinates, so that everybody is safer and nobody is being the weak link as a result of ignorance. And this is Smooth 98.1. You need to keep listening for more topics On the other side, which is 12 p.m., I'll be playing you African music so that you have a productive lunchtime. My name is Oluwaseun Olusegun.
Cute everyone
Right.
joining
Thank you.
me.
Hey, who's that?
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Let's talk about
Thank you for joining in the stream. Have a lovely day.